Hey everyone, for those of you who remember, last year I tried writing a scrambler that used ergonomic ways to solve the cube, and solving is actually part of generating a scramble. The scrambler actually creates a random state, mathematically random, and then solves to get to that position. So there's a solving aspect to it. And the two-phase solution is really elegant and it's decently finger tricky, and when I tried to mess around making better ergonomics with three-phase and doing a lot of tricks like that, it wasn't as short and actually took longer time, even though the moves were more ergonomic. Algorithms are just selected so much better by screening a bunch of algs, and that approach didn't work. But what if we took the output from T-Noodle and then made that better? So for those of you who know, the way Cosiembo works and T-Noodle works, and for those of you who don't know, this is how WCA scrambles are achieved. In one phase of the reduction, it reduces the cube into domino, if you know domino reduction, where you do a lot of double moves to solve the cube. And that's how the scramble gets to that random state. And during that double move, sometimes you get F2, B2 or R2, L2. What if you just did M2 and then did a transformation to the rest of the sequence so that you would get the same state? And that's a somewhat common occurrence, but not just that. During the other phase where it's reducing into that state, you can still get R, L prime, and you could just do M and modify the rest of it and do a transformation. And when you chain these together, you generally can see like 1 out of every 2 or 3 scrambles is going to have at least one transformation. 1 out of however many of those, it might have 2 transformations, and you end up getting slice moves in your scrambles. Historically, like back when I was cubing, cubes weren't good, but now with people doing blind and going nuts, people are getting better at slice moves. Why shouldn't we let our scrambles get better as well? The next step would be to like actually use slice moves in the reductions. But the search space becomes so big that it's difficult. Possible, but difficult. But as for now, I wrote a little tiny JavaScript thing that goes through the T-Noodle scrambles and actually generates better scrambles with slice moves. So I'm just gonna do an example. And then the scramble actually tells me to do S2, U2, F. Compare that. I kind of don't want to redo it, so I'm just going to do the same scramble. Well, I work at a cube company. I have lots of cubes. Here's another random cube. I'm going to do the same scramble, but with normal moves without the S. Let's see if I did it correctly. Yes, I did. So we have 2 cubes identically scrambled, but one, there wasn't a regrip. Well, yeah, some people can do it regripless. It's a little faster, and sometimes there's 2 cancellations, things like that. But in the long run, if you're spending half of your, maybe not half, but if your practice is scrambling, solving, if you optimize scrambling, maybe you'll get in 10, 20 more solves a day because you're saving so many seconds. That turns into, if you're doing this every week, every day of the week, 100 or so more per week. Over those series of a year, you'll get a lot more solves in. And it's marginal. You could get that much time just by taking another day of practice. But I do want to hear your opinion. Do you think there's promise in including slice moves in scrambles? And I'm gonna try to do this. Oh god, this is with front camera. So this is a scramble. It's just generating, there's no UI, but when I click the screen to generate another one, you can see I can generate another one, and this one ends in M2. I think it might be reversed on the screen, but yeah, I can just generate things with slice moves in them just to simplify down the random state. Now that it's on camera, it doesn't want to, but there we go. This is one with an M2 right there. So M2, that wasn't a very good demo, but yeah, tell me if there's promise. We'll put this into a timer or something. And one of the things that does bother me a little bit is some of these actually do create other regrips, and some of them are awkward, like M2D. That one's not good. But when M2 is followed by U, we could make it so that like only put slice moves when they look ergonomic. So M2U, maybe an E2 into something. But just these days, people are using a lot more slice moves, especially in blind. And even some things like Blake was showing me his U-perm that I use now with a slice move. Let's see if I can do it. So it's like the optimal U-perm. But yeah, I think including slice moves is cool. Maybe we can make a scrambler, maybe do something cool. So that's just a small fun project I wanted to show you. And there's a big surprise next week. Really big surprise, guys. So see y'all in the next video. And please, I never say this, I'm not one of those people who say you should subscribe or comment or follow. Watch my video next week. So see you guys.